Hi, everybody. We're going to look at credit this week. By now, most of you know what credit is. Credit is just what we use instead of cash. We can pull the card out of our wallet, go to the store. Maybe some of you punch it in on the internet because it's easier to put the numbers in than actually send the cash. But as you're seeing right here on the first slide, companies are always looking at a way for you to get credit. You look at the one on the left, Samuel Jackson, what's in your wallet? And we get going. On the right, they're focusing on speed. You go in, everyone's using credit, goes in faster, 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 faster. What you're going to be seeing soon now, and these videos are available on the presentation when you click over there. You won't be long till you look on TV and you start seeing now the credit card companies will be looking at, hey, look, use our card. It's cleaner than money because you never know who's touched the money, so it could be filthy. But so as you sit back, enjoy. We're going to take a look at some of the uses and misuses of credit this week. Put, credit is just the opportunity to use somebody else's money now or to borrow money now from a bank or a lender so you can buy goods now. It's an immediate thing. Helps you be more immediate. A lot of the credit got started back after World War I, where we came back from the war. We were borrowing money to buy houses, to buy cars. Where we got into money, or got into problems rather, was we started borrowing money to buy stocks. When companies started to call back their money, people didn't have it. That led to the Great Depression and the fall of the stock market. So again, credit can be a very dangerous thing, but for now, just understand, it is the opportunity to borrow somebody else's money to buy things now. It's an immediate thing. I strongly recommend you go back and look at the presentation I put in Google Classroom. The video there, although from Canada, is pretty kind of cool. So the question is, why do people use credit? What are some reasons? Now, usually in class we have a discussion on this. You guys come up with all sorts of answers. Biggest reason people use credit is convenience, easy. If you don't have the cash, you don't want to go to the ATM, don't want to go to the bank, don't want to touch money because it's dirty, you pull the card out and just swipe it. You never even know that it's leaving. I tell the story all the time that when I got my first job, I got the credit card, and boy, every weekend I was taking off and I was going up to a shopping mall in Plover, Wisconsin, buying new shirts, buying new shoes, whatever, just to do. Then the bills would come at the end of the month, and I went, got caught off guard. It's way too easy. Another reason people use credit, big purchases. You want to go get that TV, you want to go get a car, anything at all, you can fill in, you get to use credit. Use credit enough, you build what's called a credit rating. Many of you in class at this time will always go, Credit Karma. Well, Credit Karma is nice. It tells you your credit score. The higher the score, usually the more money banks are willing to lend you. So if you want to get into buying the house, they'll tell you how much you can have. They'll buy a car, how much you can have, and better interest rates if they view you as a better risk. Credit is also universally accepted almost wherever you go. You can get a credit card, or they'll take the credit card from you. It's safe. Usually there's identity theft to worry about, but overall, if you have the credit card, you can cancel purchases, you can check your purchases as you go. So it's viewed as safe. And one of the most popular reasons people use credit is that you can pay things back over time. That'd be one of the things we focus on now as we go forward. A lot of people really worry about paying it back over time without realizing what they're doing and how much they're paying back. So we're going to focus on the interest aspect as we go forward. So what are some of the problems with using credit? Well, first off, it's too easy. Especially as a young shopper and you get that first credit card, it's easy to pull it out and not even think about what you're doing. You don't realize you've spent the money. Which leads us to my next thing. You spend what you don't have. You may think to yourself, oh, my next paycheck is coming in 2 weeks. I'll have money then. So you stop at McDonald's and get that extra cheeseburger. And then later on, you say, oh, I want a Starbucks coffee. You stop and swipe the card. Next thing you know, you've done that a few times over. And again, you've spent what you don't have budgeted. Which leads us to the third thing. You can go into debt, D-E-B-T, debt. That's a bad thing. It means you owe more than you have. And you have to be careful of that. You come on the negative side of your cash flow. And if you're unable to meet your bills, that means you have a bad credit rating, which means you get to be older, you get ready to buy that first house. Bad credit rating, you're not going to get the loan you want. Another thing people look at is identity theft. Boy, you drop that card, someone's going to pick it up and use it. For years, they talked about skimmers at the gas station. They would stick inside the pumps, and you put your card in, and it would steal your numbers. Now it's gone electronic. There's other ways to do that. I'll see if I can find that video and upload it for you too. There was a news story of that a few years ago, how people are electronically getting your information, making purchases, and getting out while you're still at the gas station. Another area is fees. The banks that loan you the cards, they charge your fees, an annual fee. Hey, $25 to use our card. And last but not least is insanely high interest rates. You can sometimes get a good rate from the bank, or you get excited, you go to Target and get the Target card. You can buy and use things at Target and get points, but you're paying incredibly high interest rate. Sometimes 4 or 5, even 6 times as much as you'd get from getting at a bank. So credit does have negatives. You have to be well aware before you go in to use them. A couple key terms you're going to need to know as we go forward. The first is principal. I don't mean Mr. Science, not P-A-L, but the principal is the amount of money that you borrow, be it from the bank or whatever lender you use. If you need to get a $10,000 loan to get a car, $10,000 is your principal. Another term we'll have is interest. Now, interest will be written in a percent number, and that is how much you need to pay back extra beyond the loan. I know in math class from Mr. Judd, many of you guys, or Mrs. Whitaker, you guys have probably done some things with interest equals principal times rate. Maybe you've done some compound interest as well, but that is a big part of what we're doing. Now, there is a section here where you're going to look at, and you have to do this on your own because it's in the presentation. Follow the link and play around a bit. If you're going to buy a house, which we're going to do in a couple weeks here, hopefully when we're back at school. If not, we'll do it right back on here. We'll show you how to do things. There's a mortgage calculator. A mortgage is just what you pay, or it's the loan you take for a house. It's a special name given to a house loan, mortgage, M-O-R-T-G-A-G-E. And again, your interest, you'll find out that you pay a lot of interest, but the question is it worth it? Would you have that house if you didn't get that loan with how much extra you pay back? You can see in the examples that it shows you that in a $200,000 house, you may pay an extra $150,000 in interest. But again, and we'll talk about this when we get there, you get a lot of that back when you sell the house. But you do want to make sure that you understand that interest is what you're paying extra beyond what your loan is. Also in that presentation is a chance to take a look at what a car loan would do. And again, play with the numbers. We're going to come back to these calculators when we go into the life economics and you start budgeting things. But please, in the presentation, go back and play. Getting back to smaller purchases, one of the things I really focus on in class is something I like to call the payback trap. If you buy something and you start paying back only the minimum, the companies love you because they're getting more and more money out of you. Say I buy a TV for $500, and what happens is I have a $50 minimum payment back month, so I pay back $50. You would think I'm at $450. However, because there's interest there, the interest comes on, all of a sudden I have to pay back an extra $25 in interest. Now I've paid back $50, but my bill is now $475. So the next month I pay another $50, bring it down to $425. They hit me with another $25 in interest. I'm back to $450. So 2 months in, I've paid $100 back, but my bill is only $50 less. So you really have to be careful on paying back only the minimum. And that's what I call the payback trap. The longer you pay the minimum, the more the bank or the lender is going to make off of you. So they're happy with you, and the more you're going to pay. Watch this little video here I have for you. There is sound in the presentation on it. I'm gonna let it run through here with some nice instrumental music in the background.
Loose. Get comfortable. Grab your loved ones, or grab your love partner. And if you're by yourself, no worries. Just follow after me. Gonna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab your sweetheart and spin out with 'em. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Gonna throw down, take a sip with it. Now lean back, put your hips in it. Let's have some fun. To the left now. To the right. Now take your left hand and put it on your side. Gonna roll your shoulders. Do the slip and slide. This next part's my favorite part, cause it's time to shine. Gonna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with 'em. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Gonna throw down, take a sip with it. Now lean back, put your hips in it. It's simple, you can do it. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Now cool down, have a good time. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Do the butterfly, have a good time. Round, round, round and round you go. It's time to show out right now and take to the floor. Gonna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with 'em. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Gonna throw down, take a sip with it. Now lean back, put your hips in it. Take it down now, take it down now. Take it down now, take it down now. Bring it up now, bring it up now. Bring it up now, bring it up now. Take it down and crisscross. Bring it up now, crisscross. Do whatever you like right here. Just have fun. Gonna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with 'em. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Gonna throw down, take a sip with it. Now lean back, put your hips in it. That was not so bad. That was not so bad, was it? That was not so bad. That was not so bad, was it? That was not so bad. That was not so bad, was it? That was not so bad. That was not so bad, was it?
3 more quick terms to look at. The first is finance charge. And that's any charge at all the bank or the lender wants to give you. Maybe you went over the credit limit, they hit you, or maybe they say that you didn't use the card enough, they're going to hit you with a fee. That kicks in. Another one is credit limit, which is pretty well exactly what it sounds like, how much the bank is willing to loan you. That brings back in your credit score from earlier. The better the credit score, the more likely they're going to give you more money. And last but not least is incentive. An incentive, you guys are used to those. Hey, if you do this, we'll give you extra credit. And an incentive is the same thing with a credit card. The card wants you to come use it. If you follow along, they'll give you some bonus. I remember when I was an 18-year-old kid, I went to a Milwaukee Bucks game way back when with some friends. Look, there was a credit card, and if you signed up, you got this really cool free, keyword there, free but not really free, Milwaukee Bucks long sleeve t-shirt with Bang with a Buck on it. Really wanted it. We all signed up for the card, got the t-shirt, and cut the card up as soon as it came, which we found out later hurt our credit score, because if you get the credit card, they expect you to use it. The video you see playing in the background, you can go to the website or the presentation that's in the Google Classroom, and you can check that. That's a video on incentive. Again, that's a great series, kind of fun. You guys will walk away from them going nom nom nom. But take a look at that on your own. Last but not least, for today's talk on credit, or this week's talk on credit, look at debit cards. A debit card is different than a credit card. A debit card, it will come directly out of your bank account. There is no interest rate on it. It just is what you have in the bank is what you can spend. It protects you from overspending. A lot of parents might give you a debit card. I know that when our son was in college, we gave him a debit card, so we knew how much was in his bank account, and that's as much as he could spend. Again, that is a way to limit it. There's 2 great videos here. You take a peek at those again. Those in the presentation. In and we'll get going from there. Now you're going to, next up, you'll switch over to another video soon, which will have the lesson on Credita. We'll meet her, and we'll go forward from there. I hope you're all doing okay. Talk to you soon.